Hello everyone and welcome to the Action Figuratorium. Some say the greatest channel on YouTube, others say simply the best. You decide in the comments. Now, today I'm going to be talking about the new Mythic Legions wave, Dawn to Discovery, sort of the mollusk. If you're familiar with that Ween album, I think you know what I'm talking about. I really love what the Four Horsemen have been doing in the Mythic Legions releases, where now they're kind of doing it sort of by themes, where before, when they first started, it was like they were trying to fill in a lot of spots to create this realm by giving you a dwarf, and then they give you an elf, and there's like a knight, and then there's maybe like a barbarian, and you know, that kind of thing, and where they just spread it out amongst all the different sort of characters and races. But now they're really into this do it by theme, and I think it's really working out. I think they're really keeping the momentum going on the excitement level. And so we're going to go through all the figures. We're going to pop them up. We're going to talk about them real briefly, kind of what's good, what's bad. And, you know, I'm going to weigh in a little bit on which ones I think are going to be the best sellers from the wave and which ones are going to be the lemons. And of course, I never see the sales data. I don't know how these things go, but I can kind of, you know, get a feel for this, whether or not I'm even close by, kind of what the resale market looks like on eBay, how much supply is available and sort of the prices, that sort of thing. So everybody come together, strap on the leather, and of course, hold on tight. You're going to want to for this one because there's harpoons. Now, this wave by the Four Horsemen is their sort of creatures of the sea, kind of the aquatic wave. We've got 9 figures and an accessory set. 4 of the figures are definitely aquatic themed. They're kind of weird aquatic hybrid creatures. And of course, the accessory set is also in that theme. The other characters of the 9, 4 of them are humans, so they kind of, you know, are filling in some gaps with some of the previous waves. And then there's one figure that's sort of this weird kind of new, I don't know if it's necessarily a new scale, it's an imp. It's something kind of like a gnome, or a halfling or a hobbit. It's sort of in that scale, it's a little impy guy. And we're going to take a look at that. So let's all cut over, shall we, to Four Horsemen page. Dawns of Discovery. Dawns of Discovery. More than one dawn. Multiple dawns. What does that mean? Don't know. That actually sounds stupid, but whatever. Here's the figures. Here's the imp guy, since he's the only dude who is not the human or one of these weird aquatic creatures. Let's just take a look at him first. Look at this guy. He's got a whole bunch of Mardi Gras beads. He's got a pretty cool sort of trident, which is kind of an aquatic theme. Cool armor, bat wings, cool face. Painting is great. Armor looks great. He's got a mishmash of a bunch of different kind of things, plates of armor going on around the waist there. I think this figure looks pretty good. I really like these little kind of mini wings that came up with. The trident looks amazing. Also, it comes with, looks like a different head. Kind of a, I don't know, sort of a cool cross between a goblin and a demon. He's an imp. I think it looks great. Oh, look, there's a third head. 3 heads. Comes with a chest. So he's a smaller figure, and I guess they give you the chest and the bar of gold and all the heads and stuff to kind of pad out the price, because I believe he is $42. So another thing I want to point out, in the past, standard figure was usually around $37, and it was that way for a long time. Prices have gone up $5. Now your standard figure is $42. You get a lot of figure for $42, and here they're giving you that extra chest. I think it's a good deal. I'm not harping or bagging on it in any way. So he's cool. All right, so we can either look at the humans first or we can look at the aquatic creatures first. I'm going to just go through the humans first. compared to the aquatic creatures, they're just not as interesting in this wave. And the first one is a remake of a previous character, Vitus Prime. So this is a kind of a remake of one of their other characters that they had. It's a sort of a redo from what I can tell. But look at the stuff they give you. They give you a lot of goods. He's got a helmet that will actually kind of fit on the figure. I think you have to take the hair off of him and put the head on. It's like kind of a bedroll, and he's got sort of kind of a bit of a, like maybe sort of a Roman, Greek, Mediterranean, you know, sort of that sword and sandal type of armor. And look, he's got actually extra feet with sandals on. It's got a very sort of Greek-looking shield to me. But compared to some of the other stuff, kind of plain. This armor, though, this weird sort of red armor, looks pretty amazing. This guy actually, you know, I'm not saying that he's plain because he's plain. I'm saying once you start comparing to some of the other figures, these guys, I mean, they all look amazing. But it's just if you had to rank them, all of a sudden he would just go down because he's just a human in armor, even though it looks great. Here's another Knights Templar figure. This is a female one. And look at this beautiful armor they put on. Amazing looking shield. Very cool. They're trying to... I think that I feel like the Four Horsemen started off with like doing Knights Templars, and I think as time went on, they like go, oh, well, we don't really want to do Knights Templars because that's sort of Earth, and the Knights Templars is actually kind of a politically charged group in some ways, historically speaking, to the point where it's kind of trotted out today and is sort of one of these, you know, it's a little politically charged in a way. It's hard to explain exactly, but I think the Four Horsemen may have some kind of stumbling over it. I know that there was an episode that I did in the past where I covered the fact that they released a horse that had a Knights Templar sort of, you know, clothing on it, and then they rescinded that the next day after the release, and they put some other insignia on it to try and I think they're trying to distance themselves, and that's why if you look at the shield, if we can get to the shield here, this thing, it's the cross, but then they put that eagle thing on top, and they're trying to steer the boat this way. Great looking figure with these extra heads. Weapons look great. Love this. If you're collecting Knights Templars, you're definitely going to want to get this figure. $42 for her. Then there is, should we look at this guy? Who's this cat? Captain Iron Skull. This is a human, but they're kind of fitting him in with the aquatic scene because he's got the hook, that's a pirate thing. He's got the one eye, that's a pirate thing. He's kind of a pirate guy, so probably some whale bones or something, very sort of like harpoonish looking, you know, primitive spear. He's got the sort of baggy pants, sort of, he's got kind of the, you know, sea captain look with that mustache. Very cool looking figure. I think this guy is, I think he's a home run. I think he's a winner. I think a lot of people are going to love this guy. I think he's cool. Looks like the pants, at first I thought they were soft goods, but I guess they're molded. It's kind of cool. And that's a cool mask and cool hook. Cool guy. Very cool guy. Let's check out the 1/6 shooter picture of him, the beauty shot as I call it. Very cool. He would definitely be a character in a movie. All right, let's look at the other human, this guy. And this is kind of a sort of, you know, he's sort of Moroccan looking. If you were to ask me what his influences are, and he's got the cool parrot. Oh, that's awesome. Soft goods look great. They look like a reuse of some previous Wizard soft goods. Cloak looks great. This armor, the shoulders look fantastic. This hat looks, the helmet with the cool, you know, long tail on it is very cool. I like this guy. I think this Moroccan guy is great. I think the colors are great. Love the gloves. I love the leather boots. That's a great look. You take the soft goods off of him, and he's got kind of a different thing. The parrot is great. Man, the Four Horsemen just make really, really great action figures. I don't see why people could hate them by any means, even with limited articulation compared to some of the other figures, especially when you get into like a lot of these cool Japanese lines. But, you know, are you paying for something to hang on your wall, or are you paying for a Picasso? Because there is a difference, my friends. There's a difference. All right, let's get to the aquatic guys. And let's start with, I think this one is the least interesting. So everything we looked at so far, I think, was 42 bucks each, if that matters. This character uses a thing that they've done before where they put the little snake body on the bottom. Four Horsemen are not the first people to do this. I have a Medusa figure from Boss Fight Studio, did this a while ago. There was actually in the, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, there was a G.I. Joe 3.75 action figure that had a snake tail because Cobra. So this is where they took the snake tail and then they put some kind of mermaid fins on it. This is a merfolk. So that's how this figure fits in. She also does come with legs, so you can have her run around. And of course, they give her lots of nautical looking things, a lot of like anything with like rope and hooks, you know, and lanterns, very nautical. To me, this is the least interesting figure of the four aquatic guys. Not that it sucks, just that if you had to rank them, to me it's kind of the least interesting. Let's move to this guy. If you're familiar with Battle Beasts, you would be familiar with their walrus figure. And this is just a phenomenal looking figure. Look at all the trash hanging off this guy's belt. The head with the broken tooth is amazing. This weird spear made out of who knows what. The armor made out of bits of wood and rope is amazing. The weird rope around the ball thing. The skull on the belt is amazing. Probably this is the best pose you're going to get out of them. What a cool helmet. This is a pretty cool shot. I think this is great. Let's see. Autoben. Don't know what that means. I'm sure that's some sort of an inside joke to Walrus Man. Then let's look at the manta ray guy. Basically, he's like a humanoid type guy with a manta ray on his head. By the way, if you collect the 1/12 Mezco figures that have, you know, there's kind of an aquatic theme going on there, this stuff's going to fit in great. You can make a whole team. And look at this. It's like a new faction. It's the Fishers Guild is a new faction they've introduced, and it's got a cool little logo over here. So this guy, let's check him out. The huge flapping sort of manta ray thing on the back is cool. The head is particularly cool. He's got this sort of seaweed looking stuff. He's got this cool octopus. Again, everybody loves hooks here. Everybody's got like teeth and rope hanging from their belt and their neck. And he's got a cool kind of tail. Look at this cool paint job. It'd be cool if they put some spots on there. If you're into doing customs and repaints, this can be great. It also comes with like some fish stuff and a basket. This guy's a 10. And then we get to the big dog. And this guy, I think, is 95 bucks. So Bulwark. And he's this big crab dude. And look at how awesome this thing is. This is pretty phenomenal, weird thing. You could just take this thing and you could put it for sale in Japan. You could sell a lot of them. I think they're going to sell a lot of this guy despite the fact that he's $95. Paint job looks really good on this. I don't know how they have guys who paint this and mass produce this. This is peak toy manufacturing. Every time these guys come out with something new, oh, look at the giant anchor. Every time these guys come out with something new, they really push it up a notch. They're always pushing up a notch. I bet you we're going to see a lot of these parts reused in Cosmic Legions because it's kind of alien, it's kind of bug-like. Look at that, it's a great beauty shot. This creature's just phenomenal. So let's go back to all of it. Oh, we should probably look at the accessories before we talk about. Great accessories pack. If you're looking for this kind of stuff, you get the shark's teeth, you get the old kind of pirate treasure chest, get some weird fish, get some kind of hook stuff, some kind of a blue lobster, which is different. Personally, though, like little fish and treasure chests and stuff like that, that's all things that you can find all over the place without having to go anywhere. It's all kind of, rubber fish, plastic fish are easy to get, aquarium, trash. So if you're looking for these kinds of accessories, don't sweat it, but I think it's 25 bucks. 25 bucks for this. Let's double check that. Yeah, $25 for this is a great price for all that stuff. So, and if you can find it somewhere cheaper, if it like ends up, there's some resellers gone for 20 bucks, free shipping or something, get it. It's a great deal because you cannot find all that stuff for that price, but you can find all that stuff elsewhere. So here's what I think. I think the people that buy the Knights Templar characters are definitely going to buy this character. I think quite a few people are probably going to get the Imp because the Imp scale is new and it's fresh to people and it's interesting, and this is a guy that kind of can work everywhere. I think a lot of people are probably going to get Captain Iron Skull because he looks particularly cool. I think Ivan Prosperius, the Moroccan guy, is pretty cool, but he's, him and Vetus Prime are, compared to everyone else, is almost generic, which is too bad because in the past, these would have been the highlights, the standouts of a wave. They would have blown away all your elves and dwarves and orcs. I think actually 95 bucks for an action figure is pretty expensive. And what I normally say is that the most expensive toys are the ones that they sell the least, right? Because the cost prohibits people from just, cherry picking and picking one up. But I think this particular character is going to sell quite well for them. I think they're going to do good with Bulwark. I think they're going to move a lot of these, and I think he's later going to become kind of hard to find if you want to get one. But I also think that at some point they're going to reuse a lot of these parts and make more Bulwarks just in different colors or just with swapping out some different things. So we're going to see more of this guy in the future, in future waves, and I really think that you're probably going to see a lot of those parts used in Cosmic Legions, okay? I think you're going to see some people buying the Manta Ray and some people buying the Walrus Man. I think the Walrus Man's going to outsell the Manta Ray. I think he looks better than the Manta Ray. I think that the Naga, and that's what I'm calling her, the Snake Woman, I think that she's going to be, her and Vetus Prime are going to be the two low sellers. I think they're going to sell the least of those, and then they're probably going to sell the least of Mobu, and then the least of Iban Prosperius, Iban. And I think they're going to sell the most of Captain Iron Skull, Zinjar, and Odaben, the Walrus guy. I think those are going to be the three main sellers. Bulwark, number 4, and then the Knights Templar chick. And probably shovel out a ton of accessory kits. I bet you a lot of people buy the accessory kit. In fact, I bet you there's a lot of people who buy the accessory kit who don't even pick up a figure. Now, which of these guys would I love to have? Which ones are my favorite that I think are cool? I think they're all pretty cool. I think that they're all worth throwing some money down if you really absolutely love these guys. You're getting a lot of toy for your money. In sort of a weird twist, I actually think that this is in some ways kind of turning out to be a favorite, because I just think there's something interesting about the character's face and the armor. Something weird about it, just kind of works for me. I'm not sure. It seems to go the right direction. Also, is this... I felt like they had a character like this in this order of Etheron that had... what was her name? Gabriel? She had like wings, and I feel like she's kind of like a handmaiden, a shield maiden to Gabriel, maybe. Don't know. But Templar leader, emissary, yeah, this I think is probably my favorite character out of this batch. And then maybe Captain Iron Skull. I think this guy is pretty cool. because I think he's the type of, he's just like a kind of a Bukowski character. But I don't know. Those are my personal two favorites. I think they're all cool, though. I think these are all home runs, and I think they're going to sell a lot of this wave. I think this wave is going to be really popular, and I think that these figures might be kind of hard to get. Maybe the Mobu, the guy, I think is, you know, he's probably going to be something that you're going to see a lot of resellers trying to get rid of, along with, you know, maybe the Naga and the Roman dude. But all the rest, man, they're going to be tough to track down. That's my opinion. Love to hear what other people think, and how wrong I am. Some people point out that I'm totally wrong on these, and I love to hear it because I love to get educated and know the more I do, and the more I do, the more I can be educated, and the more we can talk about it and have a fun time. So, thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video. It's always very much appreciated. If you could like and subscribe, that's always great. Not necessary, though, because where we're going, everybody, we're going to stay charged.